Who's your emergency contact? Who should we notify in the case of death? Welcome to the USP, where I spent the last 2+ decades of my life. You know, on this channel, you get a lot of stories that are freaking horrific. You know, I know you guys come here to see all the butchery and the slaughter and all that stuff. But, you know, there's times when in the penitentiary where we're just trying to have fun, you know what I mean? Trying to live life the best we can. And today I want to share you a little bit more lighthearted story. Because, you know, the last episode that I shared yesterday was kind of like really depressing, especially for me. You know, being in that facility with those kids, it just reminds me of the places I've been. And, you know, when I walk into those facilities, when I try to go and speak to these kids, I get, you know, that those anxieties and apprehension. And I know that when I'm done with the meeting, they're going to open up the door and let me out. But sometimes I'm like, man, what if they don't, you know? So today I just want to share a story with when I was down in Victorville. You know, like I've told you, you know, through the course of my bid, I've made friends from all different groups. And I function with everybody. You know, being Asian, I'm not classified in those categories in the black, white, Mexicans. You know, through the histories in the penitentiary. Because out here, we all get along, we all hang out and stuff. But in the penitentiary, everything is segregated by race. You know, the blacks don't like the whites don't like the blacks, Mexicans don't like the blacks don't like the Mexicans, and so on and so forth. But me being Asian, I think it was it enabled me to have an easier time because I'm not placed in those groups, and being who I am, having my paperwork check out, and the way I carry myself, I've been able to make friends, you know, with all walks of life. And so the story is, when I was in Victorville, you know, I had a couple homies. One of them was named El Mac. He's a black dude from a Crip out of Vegas. MG, he was a Crip out of, I think, LA. And Booby, he was a homie out in Louisiana. Black dude. You know, all of us, we all done time in Lompoc together. So when we got sent to Victorville, we all ended up in the same unit. Like, we all knew each other already and stuff like that. So on this particular day, I just got a visit, and I hit, you know, so I got the sack. But over there in Victorville, everybody got the sack. You know, it was a yard where things were plentiful. And every time somebody hit, you know, somebody I knew that hit, they'd come in like, what's up? This is what I got. What you trying to do? You know? So on this particular day, Elmac, MG, and Booby, they called me downstairs. I live in 204. I lived in 2A in Victorville. And I think it was Elmac's cell. He lived in right by the door, so that's probably about 106 or 107. As soon as you come through the front door, his cell is to the right. So they called me down there. We go down there, and he's like, man, what's up? I heard you got the chronic. I was like, I got a little something. What's up? What you trying to do? So they bust out a baggie, and they had brought in some powder, some coke. And, you know, really, that's not really my thing, you know, but I just get, you know, I like to party, so they bring out a bag. There's 4 of us. We clear off the little stool. We pull our chairs up. We sitting around, you know, 4 of us. They couple them's on the bunk. I'm in a chair. Another one's in a chair because you get 2 chairs in your cell for you and your cellie. So they break it out. They bust out the line. And we all hit it, you know. I hit it. I'm chilling. And them dudes, they're like, damn, that shit's some good shit, cuz. Hell yeah, cuz. Man, that's some good shit. And I'm just watching them, and I'm like, man, I don't know what the hell they feeling, because I don't really feel nothing, right? I'm just like, okay, like, what the fuck is all the rave about? And I'm like, man, break out another one. They're like, what? I said, man, break out another one, man. I don't feel shit. Like, man, just give it a minute, man. Just give it a minute. Just kick back. Just give it a minute. So we in there, we chilling, we chopping it up, whatever kind of conversations you have when you're just hanging out, partying and stuff. Probably mostly, if I'm gonna guess, it's a bunch of war stories, right? So a few minutes go by, I'm being impatient, I'm just like, listen, man, all you motherfuckers are high as shit. I ain't high. You know what I mean? So they break out another baggie. They split it up, make 4 lines, and we snort it again. Boom. And they swear they're freaking on cloud 9. Their eyeballs are like this. They're just like, whoa, shit, what the fuck? They're like, Dad, this shit's good shit, cuz. This and that. And me, like, that's not my thing. So I really don't, like, because I did meth, ice. So when you compare ice to coke, it's like night and day. Ice is just, really intense, right? And I guess, I don't know what coke is, So, you get the drip down your throat, your your tongue go numb and all that. But I'm not really getting that amp that you do when you do ice. So, and my thing was, I like to, when I can get a hold of it, I like to do that. If it gets my mind going, I'm up, I'm just, but no matter what I'm on, I'm always chill, you know what I mean? My personality don't change. Maybe I talk a little bit more, but outside of that, I'm pretty chill. I don't act out or anything like that. So we sit there for another like 10, 20 minutes or something. And I'm like, man, break out another one. Like, what? Man, you ain't high? I said, hell no, I ain't high, fool. I was like, what the fuck was that? Like, man, I'm fucked up already. I'm high already. They're all like, man, they already trying to like just put the brakes, right? Like, well, give me a sack then. He's like, what? I said, give me a sack, man. He said, what you gonna do with this? I said, I'm gonna get high. I'm gonna go rock this bitch up. He's like, what? Oh man, we don't do that shit. I'm like, what's the difference? You getting high off the shit. What's the difference? Oh, nah, we ain't no crackhead. Fuck that. We ain't doing that shit. I was like, man, give me a sack. So they give me a sack. I pull out my weed and I sprinkle some on the table, like the equivalent of whatever we're trading. And so I put it in my pocket, and they're like, man, what are you doing? I said, what's up? I said, man, you ain't gonna break that down? I said, nah, I'm gonna go rock this bitch up. Like, what? I said, look, homie. I was like, Dad, I said, hey, I'm not telling you no. You can come with me. I'm gonna go roll me a Primo. I'm gonna go rock this bitch up, put this shit in my weed, and I'm gonna smoke me a Primo. Like, oh man, we don't do that. I said, all right, there's your weed. Have fun. Boom. So I come out the cell, and right across from my cell is a white dude named Pete from New York. Big old white dude. When we was in Lompoc, he used to live in J Block, and he used to work out with one of the homie Mana, Hawaiian dude. So they became real tight. And in Lompoc, I've only seen him when we come out to the yard and stuff. He's a pretty cool dude. We had like, we weren't homies or nothing like that. But when we got to Victorville, we lived in a unit, and we already knew each other. So he fixes radio and makes battery packs and all that stuff. So anytime I had some problem with my radio, any of my electronics, my clock or whatever, I take it down there, pay him to fix it and all that. But me and him end up getting cool over an incident. A couple weeks prior, I had a situation with the Islanders over there in Victorville. As I've shared the story with you guys, there was a group over there called the PF, Pacific Family, that had it in their mind that they were the big homies for the rest of us. But they were kind of frustrated with the situation because the rest of us didn't recognize them, didn't think of them the way they thought of themselves. So every time there was a situation with the homies where it had to be dealt with other races, issues with other races or whatever, the homies would come to me. They run over, they come to me, call me out the unit, hey man, Mason man, there's an issue over here with this and that, or whatever. And me, I was in Victorville. Victorville is hot. Like it's the desert. So my routine was I come out in the morning, 7 o'clock, all the way to about 10:30 when they call recall. And I go out there and I play ball or play handball and then come back in the unit. And sometimes I go down to the gym after lunch because I'm not trying to be outside in that heat. So sometimes after lunch, I go down to the gym and go ball with the blacks. But other than that, I'm in the unit running my poker table, doing my thing. I don't really, worry about what's going on out there. But unless there's an issue, there's an issue, the homie come let me know, hey, we bumping heads with this group or whatever. I come out there to aid and assist. But a lot of these guys over there, I don't know why they always have problems with something, right? But there's always an issue. And when there's an issue, they come to get me. And me being a homie, I'm not going to be like, oh, that ain't got nothing to do with me. Because I'm not trying to see my homies get hurt or trying to see a unnecessary conflict if it can be resolved in some way. And in every confrontation, there's always a right and wrong. Maybe there's a difference of opinion, but at the end of the day, somebody's right and somebody's wrong, And if we can talk it out and figure it out, we can mediate the problem. So they come and get me, and I go mediate the problem or whatever, And reason they come and get me is because they know I have a rapport with a lot of these different groups out there. I know everybody. Everybody fucks with me. I like to say I'm Dubai, right? Because when the blacks hit and they want to move something, they really don't want to directly talk to the Mexicans. They really don't want to talk directly to the whites. But they know I have relationships with the Sureños. I have relationships with the whites. So I'm like, hey, Mason, man, this is what I got, man. You know anybody? I got you. Same thing with the whites. Same thing with the Mexicans. When they hit and they want to move it and sell it to other races and other cars, they come and holler at me because they know that I function with everybody, that I'm cool with everybody. I'm not homies with everybody, but I have a rapport with everybody. So it's easier for them to not get in trouble with their people. It's not like they can't sell to their people, but they don't want to be on the yard walking around talking to a black dude or a Mexican dude or a white dude. Because everybody's nosy out there. Everybody's nosy. Everybody's always watching and plotting and all that. So that was my kind of like my little routine, my little position. It was just like I'm able to move in every circle, so that opened up a lot of doors for me. So when these dudes hit, they're always coming over and showing me love and showing me respect and be like, man, this is what I got. They might not give it to me or anything, but whatever I want to purchase or whatever, I get it at a discount. But I got a lot of them that just come and just, smoke me up or whatever. So, like I said, maybe a week or two prior to us partying over here, I had bumped head with the Islanders, the PF card, because they had a Samoan dude that came from the state, from Pelican Bay. And, Samoans, they come in extra large, right? So him being coming from Pelican Bay, he thought that being in Pelican Bay, people was gonna look at him like, ooh, you're crazy, you're tough because you're in Pelican, you did time in Pelican Bay. But I've been in a pen at this time, 2004, 3 or 4 years now, and I've seen shit. But not only that, I know who I am, and I know what I'm about. I'm a little dude, but I don't go around, trying to act anything outside of who I am. But dudes like this guy, like the Samoan dudes, they're big. So they think because their size, they can push their weight on some individual. And they had an incident with him and a Chinese dude out of New York where the Chinese dude was walking on the yard, sucking on a lollipop, and a Samoan dude came and snatched it out of his mouth, put it in his mouth, and walked off. And the next day after that incident, I was in front of 2B right across from my unit, waiting for somebody to send me my poker table, my poker chips, so I can take it to the yard and run my poker game. The Samoan dude behind me, he's clowning about it to these black dudes. Like, yeah, man, I just snatched that shit out, dude. Boom. Like, really giving the impression that the other homies are lame or something. And maybe he is, but that's not the issue. The issue is not having outside people having that perception of some of the homies, because now they might feel like they can go and push up on the homie and do something or whatever, and it just leads to a lot of unnecessary issues, right? And it's none of my business. I heard about it, but I didn't have any intention of saying anything about it. But him being behind me, clowning about it, I couldn't hold my tongue. So I turned around and said, hey, homie, can I holler at you? What's up? I said, hey, man, that ain't cool, man. He said, what? I said, that ain't cool. You sitting here clowning about what you did to the homie. So he looks at me, and he's like, what? Who the fuck is you? Man, you don't fucking tell me shit. I'll knock your fucking head off your shoulder. He's a big dude, So I was like, yeah. But right, at that time, the homie that I was waiting for the poker stuff came out and said, hey, man, here's your stuff. And I just took it an opportunity to bounce out because I didn't want to cause any issue in front of people, Because when I do things, I like to try to get away with it. So I walked off, went to the gym, whatever. Later on that evening, when they called dinner, I went and got my knife and went out to the yard to go wait for him. They called his unit first to go eat. And I'm in the yard where there's 3 yards. Victorville is split 3 yards. And they always come out after they eat dinner, they always come out to yard 3 under one of the pavilions and hang out. So I went over there and post up, sat over there by myself, waiting for them to come out. And chow hall ended. They called out a unit and stuff, and because from where I'm at, I can see the chow hall, and I don't see him coming out. So finally, when they close the chow hall, he comes out, but he comes out with all the rest of the Islanders. So I'm like, all right. So I'm sitting there waiting for him, but they don't come to yard 3. They bust in and go into yard 2. So I took it up on myself. I went over and walked over to yard 2. So when I got through the gate, to the Islanders came Yano and Johnny. Yano was the one that I ended up stabbing up a couple weeks later because, all these things were escalating because at that time they felt like, they weren't receiving the respect that they thought they should get. But from the time that I've known them, they haven't been about the people. They haven't been about the homies. They do what they do. Some of them are a bunch of fucking junkies that, just, that's, if it ain't benefiting them, if it ain't getting them high or whatever, they ain't really got, I haven't seen the whole time I've been there, them stepping up on the front line to mediate in the situations that had to do with the homies. You know, the time they showed up was for issues they had of their own, you know. So they didn't like it that everybody sees that, like as far as our community, the Asian Islander, and that everybody, every time they had issues or whatever, when the Vietnamese have an issue, they come and holler at me. When the other Asians or other Islanders have an issue or whatever, they come and holler at me. So when I walked in through the second yard, two of them approached me, Yano and Johnny, and they're like, "What's up?" I said, "What's up?" And they're like, "You got a knife on you?" I said, "Yeah, I got a knife on me." He said, "Man, you can't bring a knife to the homie." I said, "That dude ain't my homie. That bitch ass motherfucker ain't my homie." I said, no. He wants to knock my head off my shoulder. I'm trying to give him an opportunity. You know? And they're like, "Oh man, you can't do that to the homie. You can't, you know, if you want to go a heads up, we can arrange it." This dude is 6'2", maybe 6'3", at least 280, 300 pounds, right? What the fuck I look like going in a cell with him and trying to have a fucking, you know, heads up, one-on-one fist fight. When I do things to survive, man. I do shit to win. Fuck all the rules and all the rest of it. You know, because like I said, when you get knocked out, I mean, you're defenseless and ain't no telling what's going to happen to you. So I'm like, nah. We can go lock up in a room, but I ain't fist fighting this bitch motherfucker. We can do it for real. You know? And so when I said that, the Samoan dude comes over, he's like, "Hey man, Mesa, man, I ain't got no issue with you and this and that." At the end of the day, he dropped his nuts, right? And nothing came of it. But for me, it left a bad taste in my mouth. Because this dude's only been on the yard maybe 3 months. I've known these two dudes that's standing in front of me for 3 years. But it showed me that no matter what, because they're Islanders and I'm Cambodian, even though we're supposed to be in the same car, we're supposed to be homies, they're always going to side with another Islander over me. You know. So that's all right. So, you know, nothing happened in that instant. They squashed it. Dude didn't want no beef or whatever. So I come back in the unit. Now, this is where, you know, it opened my eyes to the people that really fuck with you. Because when I come off the yard, dude named Indo, he had the yard for the BGF out of the Bay Area. He pulled up on me. He's like, "What's up, man? You good?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm good. What's up?" He goes, "Nah, I seen that move. Because, you know, I got you." And he turned his head and I looked around and he had all his BGF homies posted up surrounding the situation. You know, because I was really good friends with Mike Wilson, who had the yard before he went home. When he went home, he gave the yard to Indo. And I was grateful for that, you know, because I didn't expect nobody to back my play or anything like that. But these dudes right here, they showed me that they're real friends, you know, without even coming up to me like, "Hey man, what's up? They were just already posted up, you know." And my homie Chucky Brim, blood dude out of LA, he did the same thing. He's like, "What's up, man? You good?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm good." He goes, "Man, you know I rock with you. My homeboys know I rock with you. Whatever you trying to do, homie, I got you." You know, so much love to Chucky Brim. You know, for me, it's humbling, man. It's that I was able to build genuine relationship with people. That even though I'm from another race, I'm from another car, that these dudes are willing to cross lines to fuck with me. You know what I mean? So when I come into the unit, Pete, the one I mentioned earlier, white boy out of New York, you know, big dude, he pulls up, he comes up to my cell. He's like, "What's up, man? You good, Mesa?" I'm not even aware that everybody's peeping the situation that was out there on the yard. Because, you know, for me, I had tunnel vision. I was just like, okay, this dude want to try me, so let's go over there and see what he wants. You know, I didn't run over there to go with anybody and be like, hey man, I'm about to get into it with this dude. Can you come with me? You know, I didn't tell nobody about the situation because I don't operate like that. Because for me, it's like, if I go tell somebody I got an operation, I got a situation, I got a problem with somebody, this dude disrespect me, and I tell him, oh, I want to do this to him and do that to him, and then I don't. For me, it's just gonna make me look stupid, you know. So I just kept it close to myself. I just kept it to myself, and then let the situation play out. But fortunately, that nobody got hurt, nothing happened of it. But I'm in the unit, and Pete's like, hey man, I seen that. I was like, yeah. I said, what's up? He goes, listen, man, whatever it is, I don't need to know, but I already know that whatever it is, you're in the right. I fuck with you. I see how you move. I see how you act, and I fuck with you. And I'm gonna let you know right now, anytime you're on the yard and there's a situation, if I'm there, I'm gonna back your play. Yeah, that might cause problems with my people because, he's white and he runs white. But he's like, but I'll deal with that because we're friends. I'm gonna fuck with you and all that. And for me, that means a lot because here's a dude that he don't owe me anything. We were cool. We knew each other. He was real tight with one of my homies out when we were in Lompoc, and we got to jail with each other in the block. But for him to, because the whites have strict rules that you don't go outside your race. You don't aid other people outside your race. But he was one of them dudes that really, motherfuckers can't really tell him what to do. He carried himself in a respectful way. He minds his business, but he's a serious individual, and he's on man time. That's what men do. Men don't care about gangs. Men don't care about race or none of that shit. Yeah, if I fuck with you, homie, if I break bread with you and something pop off, I'm not gonna be walking away. That's just not how I'm programmed. That's not how it works. And through my history, there's other people that's done time with me, whether they're Mexican, whites, blacks, or whatever. I've always pulled up. If I fuck with you and I see a situation and I see that you're outnumbered, I always pull up. Every single time. So to receive that same kind of respect, to receive that kind of love, I was grateful for it and I was humbled by it, And when somebody showed me where their heart is at, man, because I'm real. I talk to everybody, but I'm reserved as far as who I let in my circle. I'm reserved as far as who I'm gonna stand on the front line with. So when the homie did that, when the white dude Pete came and said what he said, I was like, yeah, all right, I can fuck with this dude, and I'm gonna fuck with him. So me and him started kicking it, and so a few days later after that, we was talking about smoking primos. We was in his cell, he was fixing my radio, and we was talking about smoking primo, and he's like, man, I ain't never done that. I said, you never done that? I was like, shit, they just had some last week. The Chris was bringing in stuff. And I was like, look, why don't you go find some baking soda, and the next time you come in, I'll snatch up a bag and roll up a primo. He's like, all right. So going back to going back to the cell with me, Lee Mac, Booby, and MG, I picked up that sack, and they were like, man, what's up? You ain't gonna break it down? I was like, nah, I'm gonna go rock this bitch up. They're like, oh, no, we ain't crackheads. I was like, look, man, for me, you doing the drug already. So what does it matter how you doing it? It's the same shit, man, just in a different form. You guys are welcome to come up with me, but I'm going to rock this bitch up. So what's up? No, we ain't no crackhead, this and that. All right, whatever, boom. So I leave the cell, and I go over to Pete's cell. So I go over there. I said, what's up, Pete? He said, what's up? He's fixing a radio. It's like, you got that? I said, got what? What I asked you to get from the kitchen. He goes, hell yeah, I got that. What's up? So he busts the shit out, and I pull out the little baggie, So at this time, the homie Barry is with me. He's half Korean, half black out of Utah. He was in there for a bank robbery. He lived next door to me upstairs. So I calm him down. We're in there. He breaks his stuff out. I give him the baggie. And he starts cooking the shit up. Boom. Pulling out. You know, and the rocks that he's pulling out are like, whatever, like tiny ass shit. But like I said, you know, when you're locked up, your system is so clean. Like, we abuse stuff out here. You know what I mean? Out here, y'all smoking blunts and stuff and all that. In there, we smoking crumbs. Like really a crumb, like a toothpick. And that toothpick can get 2 of us, maybe 3 of us high. So, you know, so he cooks it up, boom, lay it down. I break out the weed. You know, we get the, back then they used to have, we get the brown paper bag, right? We get the brown paper bag. We put honey on it, put some jelly on it, soften it up, smooth it out or whatever. And that was our blunt paper. So we roll that in. He sprinkles the rocks in there, takes the lighter to it, and freaking, you know, melts it down and all that shit. And we start hitting that shit. Boom. We smoking, we pass it around. We smoking. Then all of a sudden, I hear, boom! Like the window crash, right? Something, boom! We're like, oh shit. And here comes the CO. Everybody locked down. Everybody locked down. The CO's name was Pelias. She's some Spaniard, like from Spain, Spanish from Spain. She was cool, but she's running down around the unit. Everybody locked down. Everybody locked down. I'm like, oh shit. You know, I still got like, the shit that we rolled up was like this long. I still got about a quarter of it left. So I tuck it, put it in some toilet paper, put it in my pocket, and I run upstairs. You know, I'm in a cell by myself. So I run upstairs, I lock in, and she's locking everybody's door. Boom, boom. She comes and locks my door. Like, I don't know what happened, right? I don't know what happened. I just heard a loud ass noise and a fucking CO running down the unit, yelling at everybody to lock in. So I look out at the clock, and it's like 8:30, right? And I got a bunch of shit on me. You know what I mean? You know, I just hit. So I got like fucking 3 grams of meth, 5 balloons of weed, and a little bit of tobacco. And I'm just like, man, and I just smoked that motherfucking Primo. So I'm looking out the window, and I'm like, man, are they coming to get me? Fuck, are they coming to get me? Like, shit, they didn't get me with nothing. So I put everything up. I wrap everything up, boom. Put it in the suitcase, right? Everybody know what the suitcase is. So I put that shit in the suitcase. I'm sitting there, but I'm kind of like a little bit annoyed, you know? And I get up, I look at the clock. It's 9:30. All right. You know, because I'm waiting for them to pop open my door and talk about, strip out, you're going to the shoe or something, right? Because it's the first time I've smoked this shit since I've been locked up. And, yeah, it's just a different environment, you know what I mean? I'm just like, fuck. And also, I just hit, so I'm thinking maybe, you know, they found out about it or whatever, and they're just waiting to fucking rush me and all the rest of it. So I'm kind of a little bit paranoid. So 10 o'clock come, and I see the COs walking, but they're doing count, stand-up count. 10 o'clock, you got to stand up and they count everybody before they turn off the lights. So they come at 10 o'clock, they count everybody, they hit the lights, turn it off, and they leave. So I'm like, man, are they just making me sweat it out? You know, because I'm kind of getting a little paranoid with this shit. So finally, I look out the window again, and I see it's 11 o'clock. I can see the clock from my cell. And I'm like, man, them motherfuckers ain't coming. I said, fuck it, they ain't coming, right? Shit. So I put everything back out. I pull out the little joint that that I had that I was just smoking in peach cell. That shit was gooey. You know, it was thick. It was hard, you know, because the shit melted and all that stuff. So I pulled that out, put everything back up, and I'm like, fuck. Might as well, right? So I go get my candle, put my flame together, and I hit that bitch. And I took it all in one hit. Boom. And I held it. My ears started ringing. My heart started pumping. By the time I exhaled, I was lightheaded. I was just, oh shit. I'm holding on to my bump. My heart is beeping in my chest. And like, oh shit. You know, like, you know, sometimes when you get high where you're like right there at the very, very top, you know, you're peaky, you're right there. Anything over that, you're going to fall out or you're going to get sick. But I was just like right there. Man, I think I was sitting there holding on to my bump for like an hour, right? Because the weed I had was good. It was, you know, this is in 2004. So this is when all like the new breeds and hybrids and shit was starting to come out and shit. And yeah, man, I was just sitting there trying to catch my breath. And I was high as fuck. And in my head, it's like, yeah, I probably shouldn't get like this for another month, right? This is good enough to hold me for a month. But yeah, you know, for me, the same way I am out here, same way I am on this video, the same way I've always been, man. I handle the business when it needs to be handled, but the rest of the time, I'm just trying to kick it. Welcome to the USP.